Welcome back, everybody. What's going on? What just happened there? Right, I ask myself that pretty much daily. The storage in my phone is reaching its end. I need to extend that or happen to deal with that for the rest of my life. But, anyways, what I was getting onto is that when you're intermittently fasting? Wow, say that fast 3 times. Intermittently fasting, intermittently fasting, intermittently fasting. Cool, I got that shit. When you're doing this, the first few days are going to be tough. But like I was mentioning in that last bit, you feel good and it's easy to get ripped fast, especially with 3 or 4 days of vigorous exercise, moderate to vigorous exercise. Although you can pretty much do it different ways. There's so many different approaches to this. But the intermittent fasting is huge, and like I said, you're going to struggle for a little bit, but trust me, you're going to get over that hump. And I've included it in my life and my daily habits. For breaks, especially after competition and stuff like that, and just cutting for a long time, I'll take bouts of time off from fasting, intermittent fasting, just to kind of recoup and switch up the pace a little bit and just have fun gorging out on food. That's, I think, very important that a lot of people don't always get. And I think just naturally people will migrate back to whatever diet they had prior to getting strict, meal planning, meal prepping, all that good stuff. But the intermittent fasting, I'm telling you, is just a big part of the game. So, where was I going with all of this? Right. So when you wake up in the morning from fasting, after you have set your time, right, so you've gotten a total of 14 hours, I recommend that you get 12 hours, like I mentioned before. But get to what I aim for every day is 16 hours of fasting and then having an 8-hour window of time to eat whatever I like, and preferably healthy foods, like I had mentioned before. So again, if you eat breakfast at a time around 8 a.m. every morning, 8 a.m. you're eating a bagel, 8 a.m. you're eating eggs, 8 a.m. you're eating oatmeal, whatever that may be, you're going to push that forward to 9 a.m., okay? So if you can do this using the example that I just listed, 7 p.m. all the way to 11 p.m. before you go to bed, it's 4 hours. You sleep 7 hours on the average, the norm. That's 14 hours, right? Now, right, what did I just say? So 7, 11, 7 hours would be 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So say you wake up at 6 a.m. and you are now going to start eating breakfast at 7 a.m. if you wake up and eat right away, or if you eat at 7 a.m., you're going to extend it to 8 a.m. and so forth, so forth, so forth. So if you did that correctly, you would have a total of, wow, I'm not a mathematician, obviously, and that marijuana is strong, man. I'm starting to forget shit. Okay, let's do this over again. So 7, 14, bam, that would be 6 o'clock a.m. if you ate at 8. Let's say you ate at 8. You wake up at 6. Another 2 hours to add to that. You would get 16 hours total of fasting. It's pretty simple, right? What I do, if you want to use my method, I eat up until around 9 p.m. Usually latest, sometimes later, 10. I'll have a few snacks if I'm watching a show or something or doing work on the computer. But for the most part, I try to cut it off at 10 p.m. And I sleep until 5:27 a.m. Pretty much, I try to make that a consistent goal of mine. I work early in the mornings training clients, but 10 to 5:27 is about 7.5 hours of sleep for me. I then go out throughout my day and I train the clients, right? I'll go to cottage and work, usually a 6-hour shift or something like that. And that's 13 hours, right? So if I were to wake up at 5:27, go to bed at 10, that's 7.5 hours. I don't eat until 2 p.m. That's my consistency so far since doing this, especially starting this month. We'll use this month as an example because starting August 1st, I started a weight cut and I weighed 170 pounds. It's 3 weeks in, it's August 21st, and I am now 160 pounds. I lost 10 pounds, give or take, because I was I was in my chonies for both weigh-ins. It could fluctuate, to 1 to 2 pounds depending on how hydrated I was, what I ate the night prior, that morning of, so forth. So let's just say, to be safe, I lost anywhere from 7 to 8 pounds, 7 to 8 pounds legitimately in 3 weeks' time. Okay. Now, in 3 weeks' time, I have another week to go, and I want to stay consistent with the weight that I'm at for a little bit of time. Okay. So my goal, and the example I just used, if I'm going to bed at 10, I'm waking up at 5:27 a.m. Jesus, this is like a fucking repeated record. But anyways, we're going to really dial this in, okay? We're going to really ingrain it in your head. 10 to 5:27 a.m., that's 7.5 hours of sleep. I don't eat until 2 p.m., okay? So that is 8:30. No. 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. Another 8.5 hours of fasting added on to 7 hours, 7.5 hours, 16 hours, right? That's my fucking point. Jesus Christ. 16 hours of fasting. That is what I recommend if you really want to get results, big time results, or more. There's people that I know of. I listened to a podcast recently, Joe Rogan podcast, JRE baby, shout out. We're gonna be on the show one day, man, or maybe you're gonna be on mine. Fuck it, dude. Fuck that shit. That doesn't matter. Anyways, wow, you fucking lost thought thinking about JRE and all these fantasies and shit. He had a guest on the show. He was a surgeon. I don't remember his name. I don't recall his name. I'm sorry, gentlemen. But he was saying that he fasts for 20 hours and has a 4-hour period of eating because he's a surgeon of some sort. He's a surgeon. He's a surgeon of some sort. And for him, he says he doesn't want to get caught up in his energy levels affecting him if he is, doing a surgery for a longer period of time. If he has to go into surgery and he's not expecting it, he doesn't want to have to rush and gorge food in. He wants to be able to be on command and still be alert enough without food to get through anything and care for his patients, which is respectable. And it just goes to show that I'm sure that might be a minimum level to somebody. 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours to eat. But I think he even said 22 hours in a 2-hour window of eating. Wow, I gotta look that up again. But either way, 20 hours or 22 hours, that's a pretty long amount of time to go without eating food. And then I'm sure the food that you do eat, even if you ate like a savage, you're going to be burning those calories off, especially switching to ketosis and burning off fats. But that's another story, save for another time. If somebody wants to look up the keto diet, it's out there. It's pretty well known, pretty well established. But for those of you who don't know it, KETO diet, keto diet. Anyways, so I wanted to describe more of what the tools that you can use to lose these pounds, right? So intermittent fasting, obviously. Second is increasing the intensity on your exercises. You can even cut down the amount of days that you go to the gym or that you go hiking or that you do whatever type of physical activity you burn calories in. Now, let's say that you work out 4 days out of the week and you use the other 3 to rest, recover. Maybe you do active recovery, walking, light incline hiking, swimming, something easy, something to loosen up your muscles, but not just sit around. I recommend active recovery always, and if you're going to sit around, do it in an ice bath, to do it in a sensory deprivation tank with magnesium salts that will help recover your body faster. The recovery rate will be increased as well. And, just doing things that are mindful and caring for your body because, look, we all got one spaceship, right? That, as far as we're aware, on this planet, we're going to change and morph. We're going to get old. We're going to lose this body. We're going to shed our shell, right? And so why don't we just cherish what we got while we have it and, do some badass things and feel good doing it, right? I think that's pretty easy to agree upon and to jump on board wherever you're at, get motivated, get fucking ready. Let's go. Get off that couch and do whatever you have to do. Because I'm telling you, you feel good. And when you don't do physical activity for longer periods of time or at all, you really start to take a toll on your health, your level of being able to do things, to move around, to feel good. I think that exercise is crucial I'm speaking for myself, but I know from the people I've worked with, the people I've heard talk, the multiple sources that say exercise is so beneficial, and all the studies out there, all the science behind it. It's no myth. It's for real, and it's so much fun. I'm so happy that from a young age I fell in love with it, and I was always surrounded by people that love doing it too. So there's always a way to find somebody to motivate you to get in touch with. And I mean, I'm totally willing. Everybody out there, I'm a personal trainer, so reach out anytime. Souljastrong.com, SOULJAH strong, souljastrong.com. You can reach me at any time. On my Instagram I have info, on my Facebook I have info about how to reach me. My website, obviously, and yeah, it's all about getting active. So my recommendation for really cutting down the pounds is one, dominant cardio, right? Dominant cardio, and depending on how, and of course what you're training for, this might not be the best example, because for any weightlifters out there, for anybody who's really trying to compete in this sport, cardio is not going to be beneficial to you. But I'm only speaking to those individuals, and for the rest of us, I would say try to switch, even if it's like a 51%, 49% cardio versus resistance exercise program. Get into that cardio habit, right? Find more things to do in your free time, in those windows that you do plan out for exercise, to actually do cardio-based things like swimming or running or anything. The list goes on. There's so many things you can do that will increase your cardiorespiratory system. And then resistance exercise, I recommend, if you are going to lift weights, to do endurance-based training, which is more reps, usually more reps and less sets, versus heavy lifting where the reps are going to be decreased and you're going to be putting on massive amounts of muscle because you're lifting heavy, right? So it's a pretty easy concept to understand, I think. And yes, so that's another tool to use, is increasing the intensity. If you have to, depending on how your body feels, how you adjust, always treat your body right and know when to recover, know when to slow down. But when you're going after it, increase that intensity. If you have to, cut down the days that you exercise throughout the week, just to kind of get a base for this. And you're going to see some big time results. I know I can't, for everybody, this one is really important. I think core, the core muscles, the torso, everything that kind of holds you together, right? The midpoint of your body that separates the upper and lower levels. The core is a huge ally in this game, and I think the more that you can do, like sit-ups and crunches, not only can you burn a massive amount of calories depending on how many you do, and if you use light resistance to really like pack on that muscle bulge, right? Like the pop in your abdomen region and your obliques, then you're gonna want to incorporate that in as well with your program. So intermittent fasting, right? Increase intensity, and a cardio dominant versus lifting weights type of program, right? You want to stick with that cardio based exercise, and then obviously, if you can, pack in that core work, baby. Pack in the core work, crunches, abs. Swimming is a great full body, but it's also a great core workout. And there's so many different sources out there that you can do that with. So those are the things that come to mind. Let's get after it. We all have goals out there. Let's stay motivated. Let's help each other along the way. You can reach out to me at any time, like I said, whether you want to train with me or not. It doesn't matter. And I'm really excited. A lot of good things happening in life. More clients jumping on board. I'm learning from a wide array of people out there. So much knowledge out there. It's good to feed off of each other. And as I continue to get better at this and more successful at this, and establish a career out of this, among other things, I don't want to have just one source of income, nor one source of what I love to do. I love so many different things. So finding the ways, one, prioritizing what I really love, in the present moment, and working with those things for as long as I deem, that make me happy, and that, I'm helping people out. That's my main goal. But we go out there and we hustle. And as I continue to, accumulate money, I promise you that more money in my pockets means more money in this community. I really want to do, justice for everyone. We live in the United States, and we got to get away from this idea that this, the elections and a president and politicians and all that are going to save us. And I know that a lot of people I talk to already know that, but we got to get on track and we got to take it over as people. So where do we start? We start where we're at. First, we start within us, right? And then we pass that knowledge and we work with other people around a closer proximity, and we grow out. You might have connections across the globe. Start reaching out to people. Start connecting, because it's going to be us that really changes this whole course of what's going on. And like I said, the more money in my pockets means more money really going out to trustworthy organizations like Surfrider, ACE, American Council on Exercise, conservation programs, charities that are in need of money, people are in need of money, family, friends. Take care of your people. Whether you know each other or not, that could be family, right? Your best friends, I'm sure you consider family. So anybody that you meet, you come into contact with, really just work together. I think that's been one of the biggest tools for me to take away. Moving out on my own and starting up my own business, is that you need people to fuel off each other. Even though this is quote unquote self-made, there's so much more than me that made my life happen and your guys' life happen. It takes everyone. So, again, we change as people and we change our society. This is the fucking United States of America, and we lead by example. We are the people. We're going to continue to do good things. I live in California, but no matter where you are, you know what? And outside of California, wherever you live, be fucking proud of where you live. Say, I fucking live in Belgium, baby. I live in Belgium. I live in Australia, I live in Australia, mate. I fucking love it. Hopefully that was a good accent, but you get the point. Let's hold it down. Let's hold it down, and we really shape our community and our lives by the actions that we take from this moment on, and so forth. But anyways, man, it was really good talking with all you guys and gals. I had a lot of fun. I love doing stuff like this. A big show is going to be released soon called the Baldy Locks Podcast. Actually, no, sorry, the Baldy Locks Experiment with my good friend Scott Andrade. And this is just a leak. This is just a mention. I'm not going into depth. We're really working behind the scenes and working hard. The members that do know about this, you can spread the word around, but keep it on the low. Obviously, the material is going to be the real thing, the real evidence, and you'll consider us the real deal Holyfield once it's released. But I'm really excited about this. Finally, a chance to get back on board with, broadcasting, podcasting. It's going to be a different form that you guys. I'm excited to release to you guys. And if you know, I work with Jimmy Miller, and he'll be one of the guests. Hell yeah! In that first season, he's got to be on that show, baby. So get ready. But for anybody who doesn't know, I did a podcast with Jimmy back in the day called the Two Trees Podcast, and it was so much fun. I'm just so excited to get that back out there and share this with you. But that's going to wrap this up. Again, anybody have questions, reach out to me. Much love. Peace out.